When it comes to mental illness, there are misconceptions. It isn't the person at the corner of the street who's talking to themselves that is classified as having a mental illness. Many people with certain conditions fall under this category. A good support system needs to be provided in order to reintegrate the patients back into society. Here is an expert from the United States on the subject. Dr. Ardis Hanson is a specialist within mental illness. She has hosted many lectures discussing the evidence and research on this health condition. Many diagnoses actually falls into the category of mental illness.
Well, in the United States, we use the Diagnostic and Standard Manual, the DSM, and that covers a range of types of mental disorders, everything from schizophrenia and bipolar, manic depression, obsessive-compulsive disorders, but it also includes things such as developmental disorders, autism, Asperger's, as well as the cognitive disorders, Alzheimer's and other dementias. So it's a wide range of things. When looking at mental illnesses, it's not just, the strange person on the street corner talking to himself. It's also your grandparent who may have the beginnings of dementia, or a child who is born with a developmental disability.
On Wednesday night at the National Library of Aruba, Dr. Hanson will explain the ways policymakers can improve the system which supports patients with mental illness.
I think policymakers should really listen to all the stakeholders at the table, not just the doctors or the scientists or the other government agencies who provide services, but also the family members and the persons with the disorders themselves, because they have the daily, this is how it is for us to live with this. And they can say, these are the services that the government provides that are very important for us. These are the special education services in schools that help our children learn and are able to graduate and not drop out and be unemployed and end up living a life of homelessness.
The purpose for the lecture hosted by the National Library of Aruba is to address the unfortunate reality that mental illness is seen as a taboo. Reason being why oftentimes patients refuse to seek treatment right away. Dr. Hanson says better education on the disability should be instilled in society. As well, a better support system needs to be built by policymakers. Once patients with mental illness are treated accordingly, it will be cheaper for the government and the community in the long run.
And it's also much more cost-effective in the long run, because even though it may be more expensive to pay for the medications up front, because antipsychotic medications are not very inexpensive, in the long run, that person who's on that medication is not having a number of relapses, and they're not being re-hospitalized and having to go into hospitals for treatment, then to be stabilized, and then put back into the community. And they don't lose that continuity of life, and also they have a better continuity of care for the illness, so they can live a normal life.
The lecture on examining the role of expert and evidence in mental health services, research, and policy takes place Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. at the National Library of Aruba. It is free of charge.